Okay, well, welcome everybody to the Village of Lake Bluffs, and it is April 27th, 2020, and could we have a roll call, please?
Trustee Ankerman.
Here.
Trustee Charlo.
Present.
Trustee Dewart.
Here.
Trustee Markey. Trustee Meyer.
Here.
Trustee Toll.
Here.
All righty, are we ready for the Pledge of Allegiance?
Hey, guys, I'm here. I'm sorry. I was having some computer problems. I'm here.
Okay, great.
Thank you.
All right.
Madam President?
Yes.
May I interrupt you? I'm sorry.
Yes.
Village Attorney Peter Friedman should give an update, as he did prior to the Finance Committee meeting, describing the necessity to have these meetings virtually.
Absolutely. Do I see him? Is he here?
I am here. I see him.
How come I can't? I'm missing your beautiful face there, Mr. Friedman. I wonder where you are. Okay. All right. Mr. Friedman, would you give us the update?
Thank you. As I reported at the beginning of the Finance Committee meeting, all of these public meetings, these remote public meetings, are in reliance on the governor's March 16th executive order, in which he suspended the OMA requirement that otherwise requires a quorum of the public body to be physically present. That's obviously not advisable now given the public health emergency, so the governor suspended that requirement of the Open Meetings Act. And since then, thousands of public bodies, including the village, have conducted themselves accordingly. Yesterday, there was a complaint filed in Clay County by a downstate representative seeking an injunction enjoining the governor from enforcing his stay-at-home order against that state representative. Today, the judge granted a preliminary injunction against the governor and the stay-at-home order. And we've gotten a lot of questions about how that may impact the ability of public bodies to continue to meet remotely. To our opinion, that order from a downstate judge on a preliminary basis does not invalidate or even deal with the governor's March 16th order, which is not his stay-at-home order, in which he suspended the rule. Also, the injunction was solely brought by one individual. It was not a class action, and the order itself only applied by its terms to enjoining the governor from enforcing the stay-at-home order against that individual. So we do not think it impedes the village from proceeding with the meeting. And to answer a question, or to restate my answer to the question that Trustee Meyer raised on the Finance Committee, even if the unlikely event that the governor's inevitable appeal, pending appeal, I should say, is denied, I see no circumstances in which a court would invalidate previously actions taken at previous public meetings. At most, it would just be an order requiring going forward for public bodies to have a quorum physically present. So long and short, I think we are on solid legal grounds to proceed as planned this evening.
Thank you. We appreciate that.
Thanks.
All righty. Do you have an image, Glenn, for us of the flag? Okay, great. We will all stand for the pledge, please. I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America, the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all. Thank you. All right. We have a proclamation tonight, and that is declaring May 2020 National Preservation Month in the Village of Lake Bluff. Whereas the National Trust for Historic Preservation established May as Historic Preservation Month in 1973 as a way to promote historic places for the purpose of instilling national and community pride, promoting heritage tourism, and showing the social and economic benefits of historic preservation. And whereas historic preservation is an effective tool for managing growth, revitalizing neighborhoods, fostering local pride, and maintaining community character while enhancing livability. Whereas historic preservation is relevant for all communities across the nation, both urban and rural, and for Americans of all ages and all walks of life. And whereas it is important to celebrate the role of history in our lives and the contributions made by dedicated individuals in helping to preserve the tangible aspects of the heritage that has shaped our village. And whereas the Lake Bluff Historical Preservation Commission and the Lake Bluff History Museum both serve our village by protecting and preserving the beauty of our landscape and architecture, our neighborhood character, and our civic pride in our past accomplishments. Now, therefore, I, Kathleen O'Hara, Village President of the Village of Lake Bluff, Illinois, do hereby proclaim the month of May 2020 as National Preservation Month in the Village of Lake Bluff, and call upon the people of Lake Bluff to join their fellow citizens across the United States in recognizing this special observation by visiting the Lake Bluff History Museum. That would be at a later date, once we are allowed to be back to a state of more normalization. All right, our next item on the agenda tonight is consideration of, we have a GFOA Certificate of Achievement in Financial Reporting. As soon as I can find that, I will be happy to. All right. I am sorry at the moment, and I apologize. As previous to this meeting, I had an unfortunate accident where one of my cats decided to play with everything. Okay, here, I did find it. Okay. Sorry, folks. These are interesting times. This is a Certificate of Achievement in Financial Reporting for FY19, CAFR. The Government Finance Officers Association, which is the GFOA, established a Certificate of Achievement for Excellent Financial Reporting Program, CAFR program, in 1945 to encourage and assist state and local governments to go beyond the minimum requirements of generally accepted accounting principles to prepare comprehensive annual financial reports, evidence the spirit of transparency and full disclosure, and then to recognize individual governments that succeed in achieving that goal. The Village of Lake Bluff was awarded the Certificate of Achievement for the Excellent in Financial Reporting for fiscal year 2019 Comprehensive Annual Financial Report. This is the highest form of recognition in governmental accounting and financial reporting. Despite receiving this award numerous times, staff remains committed to continue working on improving the quality of financial documents and maintaining transparency. Staff is appreciative of the Village Board and Finance Committee's support and guidance in this efforts. Congratulations again to our Finance Department and the entire administrative staff for another Achieving Financial Award. All right.
How many, excuse me, Madam President, Drew, can you tell us how many of these we've received?
No, but I would say decades worth. Yeah.
Certainly it precedes all my years on the board. I know it goes way back. Yeah, we have
there are literally boxes of awards, plaques that we don't have space on village walls to hang for these types of awards.
And that's a wonderful thing in these times.
Yes, it is. Okay, so now we have the consideration of the minutes of the April 13th, 2020 Village Board meeting. Do I have a motion, please?
So moved.
Thank you, Mr. Dewart. Do I have a second?
Second.
Second, Ms. Marquis. Thank you very much. Any corrections, additions?
I would note there was some two minor typos that Trustee Ankerman brought to my attention, and I'll just throw in there just a couple simple typos.
Okay, all right, and no other changes to that, correct? All righty, can we just say all in favor, or do we have to do a roll call?
Should do a roll call, Madam President.
Okay, this is that time. Okay, roll call, please.
Trustee Ankman. Trustee Ankman.
Aye.
Trustee Charlo.
Aye.
Trustee Dewart.
Aye.
Trustee Markey. Aye. Trustee Meyer.
Aye.
Trustee Toll.
Aye.
All right, at this point in time, we set aside time for people who would like to speak on any item that is not on tonight's agenda. Mr. Cole and Mr. Irvin, do we have anybody that wishes to do so?
I don't have anyone who submitted an email to do so, Madam President, and there doesn't appear any attendees who have raised their hands to speak.
Okay, that's fine. Thank you. All righty, I think we can go through the order as written for the agenda. We have the village finance report, and that is the warrant report for April 16th and 30th, 2020. Do I have a motion to accept?
So moved.
So moved by Mr. Meyer. Do I have a second? Please.
Second.
Thank you. That was Anchorman. All right, we have expenditures of village funds for payment of invoices in the amount of $230,413.28 for April 16th through the 30th. Okay. Do we have any questions for our finance director for this regarding anything within that warrant report for this month? Hearing none, roll call vote, please.
Trustee Charlo.
Aye.
Trustee Dewart.
Aye.
Trustee Markey. Aye. Trustee Meyer.
Aye.
Trustee Toll.
Aye.
Trustee Ankman.
Aye.
All right, at this point, we have the March 2020 financial report. Do I have a motion to accept?
So moved.
By Ms. Anchorman, thank you, and a second.
Second.
A second by Mr. Toll, and I would ask our finance director if she would give the highlights of the report.
Sure. Good evening. In answer to that question, that would be the 26th CAFR Award.
Thank you.
You're welcome. Sales tax revenue on a cash basis for fiscal year 20 through December is $2,368,435, 6.5% or $144,467 greater than the same period for FY19. Home rule sales tax revenue on a cash basis for FY20 through December is $684,581, or 2.76% greater than the same reporting period in FY19, with an annual administrative fee totaling $10,402. Building permit revenue for fiscal year 20 to date is $352,505, or $20,666 less than last fiscal year for the same period. The May through March fiscal year 20 expenditures of $8,704,482, or $500,786,000 less than the expenditures for the same period in FY19. Current expenditures are consistent with or less than budget.
Thank you. Any questions for the finance director? Hearing none, roll call, please.
Trustee Dewart.
Aye.
Trustee Markey. Aye. Trustee Meyer.
Aye.
Trustee Toll.
Aye.
Trustee Ankman.
Aye.
Trustee Charlo.
Aye.
All right, at this time, we have the village administrator's report.
Thank you. The report tonight consists of it's a follow-up from the Finance Committee meeting earlier this evening, where the Finance Committee discussed a program, a grant program, if you will, economic stimulus program to be in response to the COVID-19 pandemic and support local business recovery. And the memo there essentially tees all this up, but the recommendation that flowed from the Finance Committee meeting tonight was to recommend approval of the program that's included as an exhibit to the resolution in the packet. And I guess 3 notes I would add is to clarify that for the local stimulus grant program, that it be underscored and in bold that this is a one-time opportunity per business for this initial period, and that the Finance Committee recommended the Village Board revisit this in July and see if there's another opportunity for additional programs, and then weigh that against other competing projects of the village, and also see where the revenue ends up coming in, if there's any more clarity brought on during this economic downturn. And we're also going to clarify between now and the next board meeting whether or not certain sources of revenue for businesses, namely gift certificates, how they would fall and be represented on the sales tax sheets, to see if that would offset some participation by potentially eligible businesses. But to clarify that by May, if there's any changes we can bring forward to you all at that time. They may not be impacting at all. So that's what we just wanted to clarify. Those are the 3 points that I recall from that. And certainly Finance Committee Chair Anchorman can correct me if I miss anything.
I think you've got that.
Okay, well then let's have now we will vote on a consideration of a resolution adopting the Village of Lake Bluff's 2020 local business grant program in response to the COVID-19 pandemic to support recovery of the local business community. Do I have a motion, please?
So moved.
So moved.
Okay, so moved by Mr. Dewar, and second was that Ms. Markey?
Yes.
Okay.
Madam President, if I may interrupt you, if I may, there are some attendees on this meeting that may, I don't think any of them's raised their hands yet, but they may want to speak. I did have 2 emails earlier in the evening, which I read during the Finance Committee meeting, but I'm not seeing anybody raising their hand yet.
Okay.
But there could be a delay. So if you wanted to give a moment, Glenn, could you give the, oh, there's a hand.
Okay, let's hear it.
You are on.
Thank you. Good evening, everyone. This is Joanna Rolick with the Chamber of Commerce, and I wanted to, first of all, just pass on behalf of our Board of Directors, our support for the approval of this proposed small business grant program. We thank you so much for your leadership and support of it, and also the participation and actually the spearheading by Jeff Urso and other business people in town. I wanted to share 2 things. One is that, you know, we are very happy to work alongside our beloved business community, and there are some challenges that we continue to have besides the sales tax generators. And I wanted to put this out there because I did listen to the Finance Committee deliberations, which were terrific. And though we recognize that there are sectors of the economy that are not eligible because they do not generate sales tax, we would love to see some support for some of the other types of businesses, just understanding that there are economic challenges to expanding the scope of this support. But we respectfully request consideration of the possibility of assistance for businesses that are not sales tax generators. There are many businesses that have been required to cease all operations, and their continued existence is of concern to us. And so I did want to put that out there as an additional thought, perhaps for consideration. Again, understanding that this is something that is based on sales tax revenue for obvious reasons, but I wanted to just state publicly that it's very important that we all continue to support those businesses that continue to be closed, that are considered non-essential, and we're continuing to sell the gift certificates that we're talking about, and we're hoping that the public will continue to support them. But if there is any opportunity, perhaps in July when you again review this program, if there is anything that can be done for these additional sectors of businesses, we would very much appreciate it. Thank you.
And Madam President, there's another individual looking to provide comment.
Okay, thank you, Mr. Rolick. And the person would like to speak, please do.
Susie McMurray, you are on the line, but you will need to unmute your mic.
Can you hear me now?
Yes.
Okay. She pretty much spoke for what I was going to say. Worried about
people who have a business that does not have sales tax. And mine is half and half. So I'm considered, you know, I do have some sales tax, but I have not qualified for any kind of funds. I haven't seen anything that I've applied for or any stimulus to my accounts or anything. So I'm kind of worried about how to pay the rent and those kinds of things. But I was thinking of my son, whose business doesn't create sales tax, and he was asking me, you know, does that include us? You know, and I said, I don't know yet. I'd have to wait and hear. So I hope that they consider that for people who, you know, that's their only means of income.
Thank you very much.
Thank you.
Okay. Anyone else out there that wishes to comment?
Not at this moment.
All right, well, give another few minutes, just a few seconds here. Not seeing anyone else?
No, ma'am.
Okay.
While we're, Madam President, while we're in a break here, perhaps that's something that Chair Ankenman could add to the July agenda.
I would think so, that again, you know, something to come up at the time, and we will be able also to assess where we are in the village with our budgetary concerns.
Thank you, Mark. We will put that on the agenda to discuss.
Okay. All right. Okay. We have had a first and a second, and this is now calling for any comments from the additional comments from the trustees. Okay. Hearing none, roll call, please.
Trustee Markey. Aye. Trustee Meyer.
Aye.
Trustee Toll.
Aye.
Trustee Ankerman.
Aye.
Trustee Sherlow.
Aye.
Trustee Dewart.
Aye.
Thank you. And at this point, we have village. Anything else for the administrator's report tonight?
My volume go down?
I don't know. Do you have anything else you'd like to add to your reports tonight? No? No. Okay. Just checking. How about the village attorney tonight? Have we lost volume? I can't hear you.
Can you hear me now?
Now I can hear you.
Got it. Okay, thank you. I think
Okay.
I tripped my wire. I apologize for that.
That's all right.
I did have one more thing I wanted to mention.
Okay.
I wanted to take a moment to, again, send out my thanks and appreciation to village staff, our public safety workers, our public works. Everybody continues to operate in a very uncomfortable and unusual environment, and they've just been remarkable. And I'm just so proud to have them around and part of the team and just doing a great job. So just wanted to make a note of that.
Thank you. All right. Village attorney's report.
Nothing else to report. Thank you.
You're very welcome. Village president's report. On April 16th, Lake Bluff lost a longtime resident, longtime volunteer, and longtime civic leader in the death of Christine Lettinger, who served on the village board from 1999 to 2013, first as trustee and then 2 terms as village president. He was an expatriate from Paris who settled here over 30 years ago with her husband and raised 2 children here. And she will be very greatly missed. She served also on the school board. She served as president of the Mosquito Abatement Board and also as the director of the Lake Bluff History Museum. She will be very, very missed, and I ask for a moment of silence in her memory. Thank you. We have, at this point, I'd like to announce appointments to the village advisory boards and commissions. As that comes up every 2 years, I will need an approval of appointments. Do I have a motion, please?
So moved.
So moved by Ms. Ankerman. Do I have a
Second.
And the second by Mr. Meyer. All right. The village president is required by municipal code to appoint or reappoint members of the village's various advisory boards and commissions, subject to the consent of the Board of Trustees. Following village residents are recommended, as indicated below. Architectural Board of Review, 2-year term, Timothy Callahan, Robert Hunter, and Julie Waymeyer. Historic Preservation Commission, 4-year term, Jenny Gersh. Police Pension Board, Mark Betts and Tim Morris Jr. I also recommend, the village president also recommends reappointment of the following chairpeople and vice chairpeople to 1-year terms. Architectural Board of Review, Robert Hunter. Historic Preservation Commission Chair, Steve Kraus. Historic Preservation Commission Vice Chair, Sherry Richardson. Plan Commission and Zoning Board of Appeals Chair, Gary Peters. Could I have a roll call vote for that? Are any questions and things for trustees? Could I have a roll call, please?
Trustee Meyer,
Aye.
Trustee Toll,
Aye.
Trustee Ankerman,
Aye.
Trustee Sherlow,
Aye.
Trustee Dewart.
Aye.
Trustee Murphy. Aye.
Thank you. Also on the agenda here is a possible extension of the village president's declaration of civil emergency. On March 18, 2020, President O'Hara issued a declaration of emergency for the village of Lake Bluff related to the COVID-19 emergency. The declaration, among other things, provided that 1, physical fitness facilities and membership sports, recreational clubs must close. The village may enter into contracts for the emergency purchase of goods and services. The village administrator may implement emergency staffing protocols pursuant to the village's respective bargaining agreements and directed village officials and employees to cooperate with other government agencies. Village president has the authority to issue a declaration pursuant to the enabling provisions set forth in the Lake Bluff Municipal Code. In accordance with Illinois statutes, the village president's declaration lasted only for a period of 7 days and was extended by action of the village board. At its March 18th and April 13th meetings, the village board extended the declaration until the subsequent village board meeting. Because the village board will meet on April 27th, the declaration will expire at the end of that board meeting unless the board extends the duration of the declaration. The agenda for the board meeting has been prepared in a manner to allow the board, if so desires, to extend the term of the declaration. The extension can be accompanied by a motion, a second, and a roll call vote. No written ordinance or resolution is necessary. If the village board desires to extend the declaration, the motion only needs to include an expiration date. All right. I will recommend here, on my own here, that the motion provide to extend the village president's March 18, 2020 declaration of emergency until the end of the next regular, special, or emergency meeting of the village board. Do I have a motion to do that?
So moved.
Thank you very much, Mr. Meyer. Do I have a second?
Second.
A second by Ms. Ankerman. Any questions or things for the board? Roll call, please. No, I don't need a roll call. We just decided that. I'm
You
assuming
need a roll call.
I do need a roll call. Well, thank you. Okay, roll call, please.
Trustee Toll,
Aye.
Trustee Ankerman,
Aye.
Trustee Sherlow,
Aye.
Trustee Dewart.
Aye.
Trustee Markey. Aye. Trustee Meyer.
Aye.
All right. We have now the acceptance of the correspondence. All correspondence was delivered to the Village Board of Trustees. Information reports April 10th and 17th. Do I have a motion to accept the correspondence?
So moved.
So moved by Mrs. Markey. Do I have a second?
Second.
This you can do by voice vote.
Pardon me?
I'll let you do this one by voice vote.
Gosh, you're so nice. Thank you. All right. With that, have a second. Any questions? All in favor?
Aye.
Aye.
Thank you. We have second reading of an ordinance amending the second year of the biennial budget of the Village of Lake Bluff, County of Lake, State of Illinois, for the fiscal year beginning May 1st, 2019 and ending April 30th, 2020. Right. Staff recommends amending the FY 20th biennial budget in the amount of $161,718 to align expenses as authorized by the Village Board resolution with budgeted amounts in the second year of the budget, and reduce the general fund contributions into the vehicle replacement fund as to prepare for anticipated revenue shortfalls due to the COVID-19 pandemic. Specifically, this recommended budget amendment is related to the following expenses. Approving the purchase of additional fire department turnout gear to include the FEMA Assistance to Firefighters grant. Authorizing the additional purchase of rock salt under the joint purchasing program for the state of Illinois. Adding contractual costs associated with the street non-MFT program. Approving the change order for the rollover costs related to the village's Block 1 tree grate project. Authorizing up to $150,000 for underpass storm relief study that crossed multiple years and billings that were out of sync with the budget. Additional board approval, this is approving contractual costs for the Green Bay Road construction in the current fiscal year, and reversal of the vehicle replacement transfer amounts from the various general funds department. Funds are available to effectuate the revisions from sources other than the tax levy. The village board did approve first reading of the ordinance at its April 13th meeting. All right, did I get a motion?
No, ma'am.
I didn't think so. Okay, do I have a motion, please?
So moved.
Okay, so moved by Ms. Ankerman. Do I have a second?
Second.
Second by Mr. Charlot. Any comments or questions from the trustees?
There doesn't seem to be any questions or comments from the
Anything
public
from the
either.
Public either, all right. All right, roll call, please.
Trustee Ankerman,
Aye.
trustee Charlo,
Aye.
trustee Dewart.
Aye.
Trustee Markey. Aye. Trustee Meyer,
Aye.
trustee Toll.
Aye.
At this point, we have a continuation of the public hearing concerning the Village of Lake Bluff proposed fiscal year 21-22 biennial budget. Do I have to have a motion to open this hearing?
No, ma'am, you can just, it's remained open this entire period of time.
All right.
And
okay.
a vote on the budget would close the hearing.
Okay, so as required by law, the village must hold a public hearing on the FY 2021-22 tentative biennial budget, after which hearing the fiscal plan may be revised and passed without any further inspection, notice, or hearing. Notice of this hearing was published in the Lake County News Sun on March 31st, 2020. The village board opened the public hearing at its April 13th virtual meeting and continued the hearing at its April 27th meeting to allow additional time for public participation due to the COVID-19 emergency. Finance Director previously presented a summary report of the budget on April 13th and is available to respond to questions at the hearing. Do we have any public comment?
No, ma'am.
All right. Do we have any additional comments from trustees? Anything from the administration or the finance director?
No, ma'am.
All right, then I propose that we close the hearing. Closed. All right. We now have a continued public hearing concerning the Village of Lake Bluff's proposed fiscal year 2020 biennial budget. We already did that one. I'm sorry. We're doing number 14, which is the second reading of an ordinance adopting the biennial budget for the Village of Lake Bluff for the fiscal year commencing May 1st, 2020 and ending April 30th, 2022. Do I have a motion for this ordinance?
So moved.
So moved by Ms. Ankerman. Do I have a second, please?
Second.
Mr. Toll seconded. All right. The
That was Joy Marquis. Yeah,
I beg your pardon.
got it.
Sorry. The tentative biennial budget for the next 2 years includes $15,752,678 plus $280,109 in interfund transfers for FY 2021 and $16,237,844, plus $1,712,500 in interfund transfers for FY 2022. Please note that these sums include both the Villages of Lake Bluff funds and the Lake Bluff Public Library funds. The Villages utilizes a multi-year budget process because it emphasizes long-range planning, budgeting for results, effective program management, and fiscal responsibility. The primary objective of this budget are to, 1, maintain current fund balances at or above village minimal level reserves, control operational costs, continue reinvestment in village infrastructure, and continue to deliver quality and efficient services residents expect from the Village of Lake Bluff. Importantly, this budget has been assembled with the intention to allocate resources consistent with the 2023 Village Strategic Plan and contemplates capital expenditures of $2.86 million and $3.36 million for FY 2021-22, which represents about a 20% of the total budget each year. On March 9th, the Village Finance Committee discussed and recommended approval of this tentative budget document, which was available for public inspection on March 26th, Village Hall, Public Safety Building, as well as online at the Village's website. Modifications to that recommended budget, which reduced revenue expectations and deferment of certain capital investments, namely FY 20 and 21 contributions to the Vehicle Equipment Replacement Fund, are highlighted in the attached reports and documents. The Village Board did approve first reading of this ordinance at its April 13th meeting. Any questions from the viewers?
No, ma'am.
Okay. Any comments, questions from the trustees?
Madam President, if I may have Glenn do another call for questions, just so that remind our viewers and participants in the meeting how to raise a hand.
Absolutely.
Certainly. And Mr. Urban, as I say this, I see another comment has just come in that I will forward to you. So if you are on the call at the bottom, you have a Q&A button you can press to ask to be recognized. Also, if you're on the phone, you can dial *9. Again, that's star and the number 9 to signal to us that you would like to speak.
Do you have anybody?
I have a comment that it can be somewhat related to this budget conversation, so I'll go ahead and include it if that's all right with you. It's more related to the Village's consideration of the Lake Bluff Stimulus Grant Program.
Okay, go right ahead.
Dear trustees, I'm watching this Zoom meeting, but new at this and didn't get my comment/request in. I own and earn my full-time income from Fit for Life Rehab and Fitness Clinic in Lake Bluff. We provide physical therapy and fitness programs in a one-on-one environment. I'm in my 25th year of a successful clinic. I'm also a resident of Lake Bluff. Due to the mandate from the Village of Lake Bluff and my concern for transmission of the COVID virus, until further notice, my clinic has been closed since mid-March. I've had no income since then and many business and personal bills to pay monthly. The service businesses in Lake Bluff are an integral part of our community. If we fold, an important aspect of the fabric of our community will change also. Please consider and pass a stimulus program for our businesses also. Thank you for your attention to this important issue. I greatly appreciate it, as do the other service businesses in Lake Bluff. Best regards, Sudie Dudke, Fitness for Life Rehab and Fitness Clinic.
Thank you. I think, as we remarked before, that we will be taking this up at our July 15th review. Are there any other questions? All right. We have it. Okay. Any more questions from the trustees? Comments? Hearing none, this is a roll call vote.
Trustee Sherla.
Aye.
Trustee Dewart.
Aye.
Trustee Markey. Aye. Trustee Meyer.
Aye.
Trustee Toll.
Aye.
Trustee Ankerman.
Aye.
We now have an ordinance amending Title I of the Municipal Code of the Village of Lake Bluff regarding the comprehensive fee schedule. Do I have a motion, please?
So moved.
So moved by Mr. Dewar. Do I have a second?
Second.
A second by Ms. Ankerman. As part of the budget development process, the Finance Committee reviews the comprehensive fee schedule. At its March 11th meeting, the committee provides direction to staff regarding fee modifications to promote electric vehicles as well as sustainable construction practices. Based on this direction, the attached ordinance would waive village vehicle sticker fees for electric vehicles bearing Illinois EL plates until May 1st, 2025. Eligible vehicles will still be required to register annually and receive a village sticker. Waive building permit fees to install electric vehicle charges until May 1st, 2025. This would apply to residential as well as commercial projects. Additionally, the Finance Committee indicated that it wished to further consider more targeted incentives in addition to a general incentives for sustainable construction practices. If the village board wishes to establish these general incentives in the interim, the attached ordinance would provide a 25% discount for lead and finalist qualified project. Based on the Finance Committee's direction, this incentive is specific to residential and institutional projects and excludes new subdivisions of 4 lots or greater. Finally, the village administrator recommends adding footnotes to the fee schedule that formalize the village board's prior directive to waive fees for water tap size increases necessary to provide retrofit fire sprinklers, for storm sewer connections that reduce existing residential flooding problems. Minor technical changes to note a vehicle sticker discount available to students in the fee schedule, and move a demolition fee from the footnotes to the body of the fee schedule. This ordinance received first reading approval on April 13th. Any comments from out there in cyberspace?
No, ma'am.
Okay. Any comments from the trustees? I already had a first and a second. This is a roll call vote.
Trustee Dewar.
Aye.
Trustee Markey. Aye. Trustee Meyer.
Aye.
Trustee Toll.
Aye.
Trustee Ankman.
Aye.
Trustee Sherlow.
Aye.
Item agenda number 16 is an ordinance amending Title VI of the Lake Bluff Municipal Code regarding parking regulations in the village. This is a first reading approval. Do I have a motion?
So moved.
So moved, Mr. Charlot, and who is the second?
Second.
Mr. Cole, thank you. The Lake Bluff Municipal Code sets forth certain motor vehicles and parking regulations for the Union Pacific Metro Commuter Station, the Lake Bluff Commuter Parking Lot, and other vehicle parking areas throughout the village. A recent review by the Police Department revealed a number of discrepancies between the parking signs posted throughout the village and the parking regulations within the code. The recommended amendments to the various parking schedules correct the regulations to make them fully enforceable, as was originally intended, and do not require any changes to the existing posted signage. It does say that Sergeant Gerke of our police department will be present to answer any questions. Is Gerke here? No, that's all right. Does any?
Chief Hosking is there.
Okay, I guess he's a good substitute. Does anyone have any questions for the chief?
Is this kind of just a housekeeping item, Drew or Chief Hosking?
It is, but Chief, do you want to explain it? Mike, you might be muted still. Actually, you're not. The short answer is yes. This is the Sergeant Gerke had gone through the books, and this is something that our officers on a day-to-day basis are out there enforcing. And they just want to be sure that the rules within the code matched up with the signage that they have on the streets. And that's all it was to clean that up. So yes, it's a cleanup.
Okay, great. Thank you.
Any other questions? Roll call, please.
Trustee Markey.
Aye.
Trustee Meyer.
Aye.
Trustee Toll.
Aye.
Trustee Ankman.
Aye.
Trustee Charlo.
Aye.
Trustee Dewar.
Aye.
Okay. All right. Item number 17, which is a resolution approving the appointment of the building commissioner and deputy building commissioners. Do I have a motion?
So moved.
So moved by Mr. Meyer. Do I have a second?
Second.
Second by Mr. Charlo. In accordance with the village code, the village board considers the recommendation of the village administrator regarding the annual appointments of certain village officials, and pursuant to the village's code, the positions require village board consideration on an annual basis are the building commissioner and deputy building commissioner. As such, it is recommended that R. Drew Urban be reappointed as the village's building commissioner, and Michael Croak and Jeff Hansen be reappointed as deputy building commissioners for the fiscal year beginning May 1st, 2020 and ending April 30th, 2021. Any questions or comments from the trustees? Hearing none, roll call, please.
Trustee Meyer.
Aye.
Trustee Toll.
Aye.
Trustee Ankman.
Aye.
Trustee Charlo.
Aye.
Trustee Dewar.
Aye.
Trustee Markey.
Aye.
All right. Item number 18 on our agenda is a resolution approving the Villages of Lake Bluff's 2020-2021 official pay plan. Do I have a motion to approve?
So moved.
So moved by Ms. Ankerman, and do I have a second?
Second.
Second.
Second, was that Mr. Dewar, I think?
Yeah.
Attached is a resolution approving the Village of Lake Bluff's official pay plan for fiscal year beginning May 1st, 2020. This document, which is updated annually, establishes the authority and official guidelines by which the village administrator may appoint, promote, evaluate, and compensate all village employees except those employees subject to one of the village's 3 collective bargaining agreements, which is police sergeants, police officers, and public works unions. The main component of the pay plan is the schedule of salary ranges for the various village positions. Please know that actual non-union employee pay increases are strictly performance-based. There are no cost of living adjustments. Fiscal year 2020 annual budget includes a 3% pool for those salary adjustments. Consistent with village pay policy, the attached pay plan adjustments in the ranges for the following positions. Finance clerk, which is $47,320, a minimum to the maximum of $70,720. Begins at $47,320, maxes at $70,720. That also includes the police records and the executive and the police records, and the same pay. Then executive assistant begins at $52,100 and it goes to $70,720. Assistant to the village administrator started at $65,015, which was unchanged, and goes to $109,200. The deputy chief of police at $115,440 to $150,280. Chief of police, $125,320 to $175,240. Finance director, $125,320 to $175,240. Additionally, the pay plan's hourly pay increases have been adjusted to reflect automatic changes to the state's minimum wage. March 9th meeting, the Finance Committee reviewed the schedule of salary ranges, a comparison survey of salaries to comparable communities, and recommended approval of the pay plan. Staff is available for any comments or questions tonight. Do the trustees have anything they would like to discuss? Hey, Drew, do you have any comments that you would like to make?
No, ma'am, it's all right there in the memo, and I'm just looking right now at the participants on the call. There's no one raising a hand.
Okay, very good. All right, roll call vote, please.
Trustee Toll,
Aye.
Trustee Ankerman,
Aye.
Trustee Charlo,
Aye.
Trustee Dewart.
Aye.
Trustee Markey. Aye. Trustee Meyer.
Aye.
All right, agenda number 19. A resolution approving a settlement agreement by and among the Village, MIDWOOD LLC, and VENCOM Residential Holdings LLC. Do I have a motion for this?
So moved.
Thank you, Ms. Ackerman. Do I have a second?
Second.
Second.
A second, I think it was Mr. Toll.
Yes, ma'am.
Okay, in August 2018, MIDWOOD LLC filed suit against the village and a number of adjacent property owners concerning habitual flooding affecting the property located at 1001 Sheridan Road, which is an approximately 13-acre estate lying just south of Arbor Drive in the village. As it concerns the village, the suit alleges that the village's culverts at Arbor Drive and Arden Shore Drives improperly impede the natural flow of water from 1001 Sheridan Road. During the course of litigation, another defendant, VENCOM Residential Holdings LLC, filed a cross-claim against the village. The attached agreement would settle all claims against the village in the suit, provided that the village agrees to issue permits, if applicable, for to be determined stormwater improvements to be constructed benefiting MIDWOOD and other properties along Arbor Drive. And the village contributes up to $25,000 towards the cost of the improvements, provided that MIDWOOD obtain a court order allowing it to make their proposed improvements. IRMA, which is the village's insurance provider, has agreed to contribute 50% of these costs. Any questions from out there? Or no?
No, ma'am.
Okay, any questions from the trustees? Hearing none, roll call, please.
Trustee Ankerman,
Aye.
Trustee Charlo,
Aye.
Trustee Dewart.
Aye.
Trustee Markey. Aye. Trustee Meyer.
Aye.
Trustee Toll.
Aye.
Thank you. Do we have any trustees report for tonight? Hearing none, I'm like a motion to go into executive session for threatened and actual litigation and purchase of real property. Do I have a motion, please?
So moved.
So moved by Ms. Ankerman.
Second.
I'm sorry.
That's okay.
Okay, and second?
By Mr. Meyer.
Mr. Meyer, thank you. Roll call, please.
Trustee Charlo,
Aye.
Trustee Dewart.
Aye.
Trustee Markey.
Aye.
Trustee Meyer.
Aye.
Trustee Toll.
Aye.
Trustee Ankerman.
Aye.
All right.
Madam
We'll
President.
adjourn to executive session.
Um,
Our format for that.
Can you hear me?
Yes.
Lawyer's talking.
So we'll go into closed session. I think Glenn has sent a separate link for a separate Zoom call for the closed session. Public should know that that there will not be any further business when we come out of closed session, but nonetheless, without objection from the board, the village president will come back into this public Zoom meeting to officially adjourn the open session after our executive session.
Okay, everybody? All right. Everyone would cancel out of this meeting and then connect to Glenn's new link.
And Kathy, you stay in, right?
She goes out now and comes back after the executive session.
Okay, so.
Right, I have to leave now. We have to go into the
Got it.
exec. Okay.
Okay.
Yeah, I thought.